Welcome into HouseOfSparky.com. I'm Bailey O'Carroll alongside Kaelen Jones, co-editor and ASU football expert. Kaelen, ASU lost its second game in a row this past weekend to Washington State. This week, they're headed up to Eugene. They're going to take on Oregon, but injuries have really plagued this team as of late. Manny Wilkins, Armand Perry, and Salamo Fiso are all injured for the Sun Devils. What do they need to do to overcome those?
I mean, it's a tough ask, Bailey. When you look at the defensive side of the ball, particularly Salamo Fiso and Armand Perry, what they're able to contribute in terms of leadership and communication. Todd Graham's defensive team is such a hard thing. At least defensive players have mentioned in the past that it's such a hard scheme to really comprehend and learn. So without them on the field, or at least regular contributors who are playing day in and day out with the first team, trying to insert so many substitutions and players who don't really have that much experience. For example, Armand Perry, he's most likely being replaced by Chad Adams or Jamarcus Rose. Rose being a JUCO transfer, Chad Adams not having too much experience. That's really hurt them in recent weeks. Salamo Fiso, the presence that he brings in terms of run stopping ability, I think it's really hard to ask this ASU defense to really replace those two stars in particular. Obviously, we've seen what happens when Manny Wilkins is out, Dylan Sterling-Cole not having experience before, but it's definitely hard when you talk about the multitude of injuries that this team has seemed to face at the wrong time.
And speaking of Dylan Sterling-Cole, Demario Richard and Chip Lindsey, both said that they thought he played very well against Washington State. If you're Chip Lindsey, do you stick with Dylan Sterling-Cole and kind of test the waters with him, or do you go back to Manny Wilkins?
I think that you have to stick with Manny Wilkins, or at least when he's healthy. You see what ASU's offense is able to do in terms of running the football. We talked about before in previous episodes, we said that there's a triple threat in terms of Kaelen, Demario Richard, and Manny Wilkins. Obviously, Dylan Sterling-Cole isn't a bad athlete. He's able to move around in the pocket, but I think that ASU's identity is definitely a run-first, run-heavy team. And when you have Manny Wilkins able to operate in the run-pass option and the run option stuff that they implement offensively, I think it adds another dimension and makes the offense, move more fluently. And we've seen before that what Manny Wilkins is capable of doing as far as being a passer. We saw it against Texas Tech. We saw it against Cal. I think a fully healthy Manny Wilkins gives you a better shot, or at least even a 75% Manny Wilkins gives you a better shot at winning right now in comparison to Dylan Sterling-Cole, who wasn't, again, there during the spring to really comprehend and learn this offense like the three other players before him were.
And who are some of those Oregon players to watch out for that the Sun Devils are really going to have to make sure that they're ready for on offense and defense?
Well, it starts with Royce Freeman, arguably the best back in the entire Pac-12. He comes back, and Keith Patterson noted on Wednesday that he's, of course, going to be healthy in time for when the Sun Devils visit Oregon this weekend. I think it's definitely going to be a tough thing to ask of the ASU defense to stop such a powerful and talented runner as Royce Freeman is. When you talk about the guys besides him, Taj Griffin, Tony Brooks-James, those are three running backs that make up arguably the best defense or running back stable that ASU will be facing this entire season. So it starts with stopping Oregon's playmakers out of the backfield this weekend.
And what is ASU going to have to do to make sure that they don't get a third loss?
Well, I mean, obviously we just said it. Like they need to stop Oregon's big playmakers out of the backfield, but it also starts with shutting down their passing game. Justin Herbert, a true freshman quarterback for Oregon, will be starting this week. He's looked solid in his first couple of starts, but again, he only has 2 starts under his belt. Todd Graham has been able to take advantage of younger quarterbacks in the past by throwing a lot of varied looks and blitzing the mess out of younger quarterbacks. So we'll see whether or not he implements an aggressive pass defense this week. But I think that ASU, in order to win, they need to control the clock offensively and really get after Justin Herbert and make him feel uncomfortable.
All right, well, we'll just have to wait till Saturday to see what happens. Be sure to tune back into HouseOfSparky.com for all of your game day coverage. For Kaelen Jones, I'm Bailey O'Carroll. Thanks for watching.